तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा
चालला होतो. हा, आता चित्र आलं का माझं? हो, ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे. अरे पुन्हा तेच. हा, प्रतिम.
হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, ভেরি সরি। আমি পৌঁছেছিলাম তখন আরতি স্টার্ট হয়ে গেছিল।
হ্যাঁ,
এখন
হ্যাঁ,
আরতি
হ্যাঁ,
সেরে
হ্যাঁ, ঠিক।
মন্দির থেকে জাস্ট বেরিয়েছি মহারাজ।
হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে।
তাহলে মহারাজ আজকে আসবো এখন?
হ্যাঁ, এখন
নাকি?
এখন তুমি আমার ঘর জানো কি?
না মহারাজ।
তুমি কোথায় আছো এখন?
একদম মহারাজ মন্দিরের সামনে আছি।
হ্যাঁ, নাট মন্দিরের সামনে?
একদম, হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, একদম মন্দিরের সামনে আছি।
মন্দিরের সামনে তুমি, আমি যে দিকটা বলেছিলাম না, সেদিক থেকে চলে এসো। হ্যাঁ,
আচ্ছা।
আর আমি 7:03 বাকি আছে, আমি ঘরের সামনে আসছি, তুমি পট করে আমাকে দেখে চলে এসো।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
তুমি পট করে এসো এদিকে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ মহারাজ, এক্ষুনি আসছি।
হ্যাঁ। ओम तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनम कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमंगलम श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the date. Oh. मिस हो गए तुम्हें देखो डेट
21st जून
हाँ
जून 1883 21st जून
21 जून ना फेस्टिवल एट पानीहाटी तो हो गया छे अगस्त रे
22nd July
not August
no 22nd July মহারাজ বলছি আমাকে গাড়ি দাঁড়িয়েছে ফিরতে হবে আপনাকে একটু প্রণাম করে চলে যাবো হ্যাঁ 22nd July.
Sir, it is possible that Shukadeva did not have the ultimate knowledge. No. Vidyasagar is in कहाँ है
22nd
पेज नंबर तुम्हारा बंगाली हाँ
241 बेंगाली 241
241
22nd July हम यूट्यूब पे छोड़ दिया
वो लंबा लंबा गाना तो खत्म हो गया था
हाँ वो हो गया था उसके बाद
ये तो मल्लिकर पाड़ी হ্যাঁ
বিদ্যাসাগর কেশব সেনের
মায়ের জীব জগৎ পার হয়ে গেলে
ওটা হয়ে
নিত্যতে পৌঁছানো হয়।
হ্যাঁ ওটা হয়ে গেছে
হ্যাঁ তারপর নেক্সট প্যারা না?
241 পেজ 241
ও এটা হয়ে গেছে,
হুম।
সেই তো বলছি 239
এটা
241।
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ দক্ষিণেশ্বর কালীবাটিতে ভক্ত সঙ্গে, এটা ঠিক আছে। দক্ষিণেশ্বর কালীবাটি, ও এখানে সাবহেডিং তো নেই, डेट আছে 22 जुलाई। या अगस्त कैसे आ गया फिर मेरा? वो बीच को एक ये था क्या अनडेटेड? कंफ्यूजन। हाँ जुलाई 20, ओके है, मेरा मार्क भी मिल गया, पेज मार्क कर गया था तो ओके। We have to start today the conversations of 22nd July 1883. Being a Sunday, taking advantage of the holiday, many householder devotees visited Sri Ramakrishna in his room at the Dakshineshwar temple garden. And the young devotees, mostly students, generally came up on weekdays to avoid the crowd. Sometimes the master asked his intimate disciples to come on a Tuesday or a Saturday, days that he considered very auspicious for special religious instruction. Other Rakhal and him had come from Calcutta in a hired carriage. No complaint up till now, so everything is all right. Sri Ramakrishna had enjoyed a little rest after his midday meal. The room had an atmosphere of purity and holiness. On the walls hung pictures of gods and goddesses, among them one of Christ teaching the drowning, rescuing the drowning Peter. It's a famous check. Peter, we have to introduce to the listeners. Peter was the disciple on whose basis the church was founded. Christ had said, "Here is the rock on which I will find my church." That is Peter. And there is an incident in the Bible where Peter was drowning and Christ is pulling him up. So that is the picture. On the walls hung pictures of gods and goddesses, among them one of Christ rescuing the drowning Peter. Outside the room were plants laden with fragrant flowers. So Master Macha is suddenly describing the room and all that. And the Ganges could be seen flowing towards the south. Now this has to be explained to many people. Ganges normal flow is to the south. Ocean is in the south. But after flowing south 6 hours, the up tide comes in the ocean. And that water pushes Ganges water back. So for 6 hours, the Ganges flows north in Calcutta. This is those who are interested. This is up to Farakka barrage.
Beyond that it doesn't.
Beyond that, south only. That barrage becomes the boundary. So that is why it is mentioned Ganges was flowing south. Because sometimes it is flowing north. The master was seated on the small coach facing the north. Coach, he writes, sometimes bedstead. There were two, in our language, there were two cots in Thakur's room. The bigger one he used for sleeping, and the smaller one was like a chair these days. There was no chair in Thakur's room. There were two cots. The bigger one he used for sleeping, and the smaller one he used like a stool or a chair, and he sat on it. Facing the north. North, yes. Both the cots are in the south, from room point of view, south, east, southwest corner, both the cots. So when he sits on the smaller cot, the empty space is to the north and also to the east. Facing the north, and the devotees sat on mats and carpets spread on the floor. Both floor only is mentioned, so both to the north and the west. East. All eyes were directed toward him. Mani Mallik, an old Brahmo devotee about 65 years of age, came to pay his respects to the master. He had returned a few months earlier from a pilgrimage to Benares, Varanasi, Kashi, and was recounting his experiences to Sri Ramakrishna. Manimalli, a monk whom I met in Benares, said that no religious experience is possible without the control of the sense organs. Nothing could be achieved by merely crying, God, God. Now, this is one view. This is not the entire truth. One can first start loving God and then control the senses. So, he has stated, one monk told like this. So, Thakur will correct it, that this is one path. Because all paths do not require control in the beginning. So, Thakur has to correct it. Master, do you understand the views of teachers like him? So, that view, he only said this much, but Thakur will explain the entire view, that path. Thakur can explain all paths. According to them, one must first practice spiritual discipline, self-restraint, self-control, forbearance, and the like. Now here, these different names appearing similar, we must find out. As soon as you look in Bengali, because I will tell you the mistake in English translation. No, my reading was wrong. No, my reading was wrong. First, practice spiritual discipline, colon is there after that. So, spiritual discipline is not one of the things to be practiced. Spiritual discipline meaning the following. One has to practice, one has to practice spiritual discipline, colon. That means the meaning of spiritual discipline is self-restraint, self-control. Here a little Golmaal. I'll translate again. Shama Dama. So, spiritual discipline, semicolon, mental control, physical control. Mental control, physical control. Control of the mind, control of the indriyas. Understood? And then forbearance, titiksha. Titiksha is heat and cold, but it is not limited to heat and cold only. People think titiksha means no effect of heat and cold. But heat and cold, honor and dishonor, praise and blame, love and hatred, the world consists of duels, or world consists of duels in every respect. And man should not be affected by those changes. That is titiksha. So, shama, dama, titiksha. And the like. And the like. Okay. In Bengal only 3 are there, not ityadi. Shama, dama, titiksha, chai. So, control of the mind, control of the organs, forbearance, these 3 is the meaning of spiritual discipline. Their aim is to attain nirvana. So, this is the Vedantic view. Their aim is to attain nirvana. Nirvana means I-lessness. Nirvana means nirvana. Explain nirvana. Not no. Nirvana literally means extinguishing. And nirvana only is generally word used by Buddhists, while the Gita calls it Brahma Nirvana. That means you are gone. Brahman is. That is nirvana. So they want a state, I-lessness, identical with the universal reality. That is nirvana. Must explain. Only word should not be there. So they want spiritual discipline, shama, dama, titiksha. Their aim is I-less, absolute reality. In that absolute reality, there is neither I nor the world. The reality, one without a second. To realize that is called nirvana. They are followers of Vedanta. Straight away. Now he gives the name. A monk told him, na? So monks generally believe this. They constantly discriminate, saying Brahman alone is real and the world illusory. Now Thakur himself is telling this to householders devotees also. But here he is mentioning that path. But this is an extremely difficult path. So that constant discrimination, Thakur is not including in difficult path. Because we have seen several times the householders also is prescribing this discrimination. So that he cannot hold as a difficult path. But to start with Shamadama Titiksha, that is calling difficult path, and they want Nirvana, that is another thing. But this is an extremely difficult path. If the world is illusory, then you too are illusory. Oh, this has come. I told you. Let us revise our thinking. Thakur taught Vedanta to his sannyasi disciples, would-be sannyasi disciples. And especially in the Great Master, it is recorded how he taught Vedanta to Swami Turiyananda. He told, what is Vedanta? Brahman alone is real, world is illusory. Is it not that Vedanta is only this much? And Turiyan Swami agreed. Now, there is a difference between the traditional Vedantist. They say, I give you the shloka one day. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Thakur did not have to tell this Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. I mentioned the speciality. Now here comes the crux. That if Jagat Mithya, you are a part of that Jagat. You are also Mithya. And this most Vedantis do not understand. And that is why Thakur is telling it is a difficult path. Maximum Vedantis I have seen. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. I am Brahman. The world is illusory. I am Brahman. And I found, though this is ascribed to Shankaracharya, but a portion of Shankaracharya's commentary on the Chandogya Upanishad, Shankar says, if the world is illusory, I is also illusory. And if I is Brahman, then whole world is Brahman. Sarvam Karvidam Brahma. So the traditional Vedantists must understand this Shankar's view. Jiva in his real nature is Brahman. The world in its real nature is Brahman. And Jiva as he appears has no existence in Vedanta. World is as it appears is illusory. Are we not included in the world which we experience? If you are in front of me, world is unreal means you are also unreal. I am sitting in front of you, so for you the world is unreal means I am unreal. This is the main mistake of the traditional Vedantist, so-called traditional. And if they believe in Shankaracharya, I have quoted, I can sometimes, if you want, I can give you that Shankar's portion. Of course, I have translated in Hindi. Okay? So, now we understand why Thakur is calling that difficult. The misunderstood path. Their aim is to attain Nirvana. I told you, in Nirvana there is no I. They are followers of Vedanta. They constantly discriminate, saying Brahman alone is real and the world illusory, but this is an extremely difficult path. If the world is illusory, then you too are illusory. The teacher who gives the instruction is equally illusory. His words too are illusory as a dream. he has added as a dream. What is the meaning? It is experience, but it is not real. If this world like a dream would not be there, then like it is not experienced also. Like a dream. That means we do experience the world, we do experience our own I, but when we wake up, it is not there. That I is not there, which we experience in dream. So, like a dream, as in a dream. But this experience is beyond the reach of the ordinary man. You understand this? We are listening to many Vedantic treatises, but it will require vairagyam. It does not start with control. Here, ordinary man means Bengali is very different again. One must, even Nikranji's translation, when you take class, one feels one must retranslate many places. Bengali is but a durer katha. It is a far cry. The English would be, but it is a far cry. Is beyond the reach of the ordinary man. Do you know what it is like? If you burn camphor, nothing remains. That is the best example. Nirvana. When wood is burnt, at least a little ash is left. So beautifully Thakur is explaining Nirvana. If camphor is burnt, nothing remains. If wood is burnt, ash will remain. Finally, after the last analysis, the devotee goes into samadhi. I listen this. This samadhi is not absolute concentration of the Patanjali. This samadhi means no I, nirvana. No I, no world, only Brahman. Then he knows nothing whatsoever of I, you, or the universe. Thakur in 3 sentences has explained Vedanta beautifully. With an example of camphor. Padmalochan was a man of deep wisdom. He was the Sabha Pandit of the Raja of Bardwan. And he was really a man of deep wisdom. Jnani. He had great respect for me, though at so there is a twist. He had great respect for me, though at that time I constantly repeated the name of the Divine Mother. He was the court Pandit of the Maharaj of Bardwan. Once he came to Calcutta and went to live in a garden house near Kamarhati. I felt a desire to see him and sent Hriday there to learn if the Pandit had any vanity, I was told that he had none. Then I met him. Though a man of great knowledge and scholarship, he began to weep on hearing me sing Ram Prasad's devotional song. So, real Vedanta Thakur is sure. We talked together a long while. Conversation with nobody else gave me such satisfaction. He said to me, give up the desire for the company of devotees. Otherwise, people of all sorts will come to you and make you deviate from your spiritual idea. Once he entered into a controversy by correspondence with Utsavananda. Utsavananda is the name of, no, that is Achalananda. Utsavananda was Vaishnava Charan's guru. Vaishnava, given Vaishnava Charan's guru. He told me an interesting incident. Once a meeting was called to decide which of the two deities, Shiva or Brahma, was the greater. Not Vishnu. Unable to come to any decision, the Pandits at last referred the matter to Padmalochan, with characteristic guilelessness, he said. Guilelessness is another characteristics of wisdom. So, with characteristic guilelessness, he said, how do I know? Neither I nor any of my ancestors back to the 14th generation have seen Shiva or Brahma. That means without direct knowledge, how can you argue? About the renunciation of women and gold, he said to me one day, why have you given up those things? Such distinctions as this is money and that is clay are the outcome of ignorance. What could I say to that? I replied, I don't know all these things, my dear sir. But for my part, I cannot relish such things as money and the like. So Thakur is showing the real path. Why has mentioned Padmalochan? He was a great Pandit. So he knew Vedanta. And he's telling according to Vedanta, these are that. And Thakur is telling, I don't know your argument, but I cannot relish. So this Padmalochan's conversation, Thakur said, conversing him gave him the maximum satisfaction because he was guileless. Not that all views Thakur agreed. So his views, Thakur's views. Now another Pandit. There was a Pandit who was tremendously vain. He did not believe in the forms of God. Padmalochan wept at Thakur's Divine Mother. So contrast. But who can understand the inscrutable ways of the Divine? God revealed himself to him as the primal power. This vision made the Pandit unconscious for a long time. After regaining partial consciousness, he uttered only the sound ka, ka, ka. He could not fully pronounce Kali. So filled with devotion. Thakur is hinting, love and devotion should be there. And if you are a sincere man, God himself will reveal that to you. A devotee, sir, you met Pandit Vidyasagar. What did you think of him? Because Pandits, Thakur mentioned two Pandits, so somebody asked about a third Pandit. Master, Vidyasagar has both scholarship and charity, but he lacks inner vision. Straight. Gold lies hidden within him. That is God. Or spiritual experiences. They are lying within. Potential. Had he but found it out, his activities would have been reduced. Finally, they would have stopped altogether. So, when a man gets spiritual experience, the more the spiritual experience goes, the activities become less and less. Finally, when one realizes God, then the activities stop. Had he but known that God resides in his heart, his mind would have been directed to God in thought and meditation. Thought and meditation will be a poor translation. Hmm? Mhm. पहले तारी ध्यान चिंताएं मन जेतो. Okay, meditation and thinking. Huh? Some persons must perform selfless work a long time. So starting is from Karma Yoga, Nisvartha Karma. Some persons must perform selfless work a long time before they can practice dispassion. So Vairagya, which is at the start of Vedantic sadhana, comes after long practice of karma, selfless work, and direct their minds to the spiritual ideal and at last be absorbed in God. So he shows that for Vedanta also a preliminary sadhana of karma yoga is necessary, not only control. M. Now these Pandits and all the devotees are talking. Now M inputs a question. Huh? Is Daya also a bondage? Thakur had told this himself. That not Daya, but Shiv Gyane Jiv Seva. So that is in Master's mind. And he asked this question. But Thakur tells that that is at a higher level. Very clear. Master, yes, it is. But that concept is something far beyond the ordinary man. Daya springs from Sattva. We find everywhere in the scripture Daya is mentioned. Sattva preserves, Rajas creates, and Tamas destroys. But Brahman is beyond the three gunas, it is beyond Prakriti. These three gunas belong to nature, and Brahman is beyond. We cannot discover that Brahman is all Sattva. None of the three gunas can reach truth. They are like robbers who cannot come to a public place for fear of being arrested. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are like so many robbers. Those who are interested in how these three gunas bind should reach the 14th chapter of the Gita. Listen to a story. Once a man was going through a forest when three robbers fell upon him and robbed him of all his possessions. A story, allegory. Through allegory, Thakur can tell so many truths. One of the robbers said, "What is the use of keeping this man alive?" So saying, he was about to kill him with his sword, when the second robber interrupted him, saying, "Oh no, what is the use of killing him? Tie him hand and foot and leave him here." The robbers bound his hand and feet and went away. After a while, the third robber returned and said to the man, "Ah, I am sorry. Are you hurt? I will release you from your bonds." After setting the man free, the thief said, "Come with me. I will take you to the public highway." After a long time, they reached the road. Then the robber said, "Follow this road. Over there is your house." At this, the man said, "Sir, you have been very good to me. Come with me to my house." "Oh no," the robber replied, "I can't go there. The police will know it." So this is an allegory through which everything, Sattva can lead you up to that point. But after that, Sattva has no entry. Remember, many Vaishnavas think to gain Sattva is the ideal of life. Sattva is on the way. And not all people require Sattva. In the Gita, as per you are, your nature, you can worship God by your karma. Now he explains the meaning of this allegory. This world itself is the forest. The three robbers prowling here are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. It is they that rob a man of the knowledge of truth. So what Sattva does not allow, the allegory is all right. But Thakur is explaining that. Absolute truth is beyond all gunas. And Sattva will not allow that. Oh, the gospel through conversations and all that is so clear on spiritual points, so clear, sharply clear. Tamas wants to destroy him, Rajas binds him to the world, but Sattva rescues him from the clutches of Rajas and Tamas. This, if you want, 18th chapter of the Gita. 17th chapter of the Gita, 18th chapter of the Gita. 14th only for all three gunas are binding. Under the protection of Sattva, man is rescued from anger, passion, and the other evil effects of Tamas. Further, Sattva loosens the bonds of the world. But Sattva also is a robber. It cannot give him the ultimate knowledge of truth, though it shows him the road leading to the supreme abode of God. Setting him on the path, Sattva tells him, "Look yonder, there is your home." Even Sattva is far away from the knowledge of. So now he has put this word. Not that it can take you up to that truth. No, no, no. From a distance you are showing it that is your house. So Sattva also falls for, because all these include I and the world as real. Is far away from the knowledge of Brahman. Let me confirm this from Bengali. সেখান থেকে সত্যগুণ অনেক দূরে। What Brahman is cannot be described. Avang manasa gocharam. Vani requires duality. Vani requires sense experience, then you can describe in words. Even he who knows it cannot talk about it. There is a saying that a boat, once reaching the black waters of the ocean, cannot come back. There is a saying in India, Kalapani, near Andaman Nicobar. People were put for life imprisonment there by the Britishers. Anyway, so this is saying, you cannot come back. Now comes avatar in Thakur's description. Cannot come back, as said, but some people can come back. Once 4 friends in the course of a walk saw a place enclosed by a wall. The wall was very high. They all became eager to know what was inside. One of them climbed to the top of the wall. What he saw on looking inside made him speechless with wonder. He only cried, ah, ah, and dropped in. He could not give any information about what he saw. So here Kalapani is mukti, beyond gunas. The others too climbed the wall, uttered the same cry, ah, ah, and jumped in. Now who could tell what was inside? So here all 4 have gone. Cannot return. In another story, one comes back. Sages like Jadabharata and Dattatreya, after realizing Brahman could not describe it, we must describe these 2 personalities, otherwise only names will not do. Jadabharata, he is being called a sage, and Jadabharata. So there was a king, and he gave up his kingdom and went to live near a river and to meditate on God. Now, a she-deer was flowing in the current and gave birth to a baby deer and passed away. So the king naturally lifted that and became attached to that. And so, on the deathbed also, he was thinking of that, what will happen to that baby deer. So he was born as a deer. And then as a person named Bharat. After that, Asakti effect was over, he became born as a man again. Now, because of his tremendous sadhana before, he remembered what had happened to him. And so this time, he did not want to become attached to anything. So he used to sit like a stone. That is why his name became Jadabharat. And the story further, so his brothers drove him out, nobody is caring for him, he does not do any work, he does not care for anything. He was sitting outside his house, and once Raja, Rahuguna or somebody, he was going in a palanquin, and one of his bearers fell ill. So they saw this robust man and put him as a yoke in the palanquin. Now there were ants on the road. So he wanted that they should not be killed. So his feet became like staggering, here one, there one. So they were disturbed. And Raja scolded him, ordered him. And then came knowledge from his mouth. Whom you are talking, Raja? Like that. And then he describes at length his knowledge. But Brahman he cannot describe because it is beyond description. So these sages like Bharat and Dattatreya. The name itself tells us many things. Atri was a great sage and his wife Anasuya was famous for her pativritya. So the gods wrongly thought that on the strength of her pativritya, this Atri will take away our position. Atri was not interested, but the gods thought like that. And they asked the three main gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, that you do something so that that lady's pativritya gets broken. So they came in the guise of beggars, three. And Atri was not at home. And they begged for food. She said, all right, I'll give you food. They said, no, you have to give food according to our condition. Okay, what is your condition? They said, you become naked and then give food to us. They thought by this, her woe of pativritya will go away. Then she prayed to God that I have been absolutely pativrata. And these people are talking like that. I cannot say no to them. So you protect me. Saying like this, the moment she removed all her clothes, these three gods became three children. And at that point, Atri came back. And she told what has happened. Atri immediately could understand that they are gods. So he said that I cannot help three children. So you please become one. So they fused and became a three-mouthed children. So Datta means given by gods. Atre means Atri's son. But he was Anusuya's son, not Atri's son. And this Dattatreya is famous. What is the other name for Dattatreya? Avadhut. In Bhagavad there is Avadhuta Gita. Avadhut means washed clean. So no attachment. If something is dirty, it sticks, paper or cloth. But if it is washed clean, it will not stick. So that is his name. And Avadhuta has a song, Gita. Like Jadabharata something, people could not understand him, they were stoning him or beating him, and he was absolutely nirvikar. But he could not describe Brahman because it cannot be described. Not because they did not know. So, sages like, let me see, even word may be there. He clearly mentioned that realized. That is missing in English, na? Jada Bharat, Dattatreya, era Brahma Darshan kore ar khabar dite parin nai. So, translation has to be changed. Sages is one word, but that will not do. Huh? Okay, correct. After realizing Brahman, sages like Jadabharata and Dattatreya, after realizing Brahman, could not describe it. Clear? I'm sorry, huh? A man's eye completely disappears when he goes into samadhi after attaining the knowledge of Brahman. So, there are so many types of samadhis, but this samadhi, absolute knowledge of Brahman, their eyelessness, called Nirvikala Samadhi. That is why Ramprasad sang, addressing his mind, if you should find the task too hard, call upon Ramprasad for help. You understand this poem? Thakur is explaining this. The mind must completely merge itself in knowledge, but that is not enough. Ramprasad, that is the principle of I, must vanish too. Then alone does one get the knowledge of Brahman. So, Vedanta and path of devotion and everything, Thakur has described. A devotee, sir, is it possible then that Shukadeva did not have the ultimate knowledge? Why it is mentioned? Okay, huh? Master. According to some people, Shukadeva only saw and touched the ocean of Brahman. So, knowledge intensity is of several types. He has seen and touched, but he did not dive into it. Oh, now this point is how he returned. And he has described so many things. That is why he could return to the world and impart religious instruction. According to others, he returned to the world of name and form after attaining the knowledge of Brahman. So he has given two different opinions about it. So exceptions are there. After knowledge, he can return to the world of name and form after attaining the knowledge of Brahman for the purpose of teaching others. He had to recite the Bhagavad to King Parikshit and had to teach people in various ways. Therefore, God did not destroy his eye altogether. God kept in him the ego of knowledge. God kept in him to teach people. It is not his eye. Now, this story we must explain a little. Who is Parikshit? Arjuna's grandson. Abhimanyu, wife Uttara, was pregnant. And this Ashwathama, he wanted to destroy the Pandavas by Brahmastra. And then Vyasadeva, Krishna told Arjuna, you also must hit Brahmastra. Otherwise, he will burn the whole world. So Arjuna sent Brahmastra. Two Brahmastras colliding would have completely destroyed the world. So Vyasadeva came in between and checked them for a time. And Vyasadeva said, both of you must withdraw your Brahmastra. Arjuna withdrew. But Ashwathama had no knowledge of withdrawing the Brahmastra. He has learnt about sending the Brahmastra from his father Dronacharya. But he had no knowledge of how to withdraw. Says, I can't withdraw. I can direct it to something. And he directed to destroy the fetus in the womb of Uttara. There Bhagavan Krishna said, I will send my chakra to protect that. It cannot destroy that. So he saw somebody saving me like that. So that becomes the derived name Parikshit. Now this Parikshit was a very pious king, obviously. But once when he had gone to forest alone, he felt very thirsty. He saw an ashrama and entered that ashrama. And there the sage was deep in samadhi. He called several times, please give me water. But that sage was beyond that. The king became angry. And there was a dead serpent lying there, dead serpent. So by his arrow he lifted it and put in the neck of that sage and came away. The sage's son had gone out. When he came and saw, he cursed, whoever has put like this, he will die by snake bite within 7 days. The father became sorry, why you have cursed him like this? He is a pious king. But then that curse could not have been negated. So this Parikshit, time is up, built a room or a palace or something was built for him, a variation in the story, on one pillar. And guards all around, sages went there. One view is that near the river. Anyway, this Takshak, the king of the serpents, he entered a small fruit, like a small caterpillar. And that fruit was purchased. And as soon as it was cut, Takshaka came out and beat him. That is the story. But when it was known that in 7 days he is dying, because he was a pious man, so many sages gathered round him and talked about God. At that point they saw the Shukadeva naked, not aware of the world, he was walking. They caught him, brought him, requested him, such and such is the situation, you please tell the story of God. So that is the Shukadeva had to finish in 7 days. That is the whole story. He had to recite the Bhagavata to King Parikshit and had to teach people in various ways. Therefore, God did not destroy his ego altogether. God kept in him the ego of knowledge. So this ego is different. God kept him. Okay? We stop here because then the discussion on 2 types of egos will come. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
And this is divine mother's room.